Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to today's podcast episode, and I've got someone really special for you today, all the way from the US. Her name's Stephanie, and we're going to be talking about building your audience using TikTok, amongst possibly other things as well. It depends on how we go, but TikTok always a favorite. It's one of the hottest platforms on at the moment. So, with that said, Stephanie, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me on, Dan. This is so exciting.
Good. So please tell us about TikTok. Oh, just before we talk about business, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So I am a marketing and branding coach for new or aspiring service-based business owners. I help them build their personal brands. However, I used to be a product marketing manager at Google for over 3 years. I quit my job in February of 2021 to start working for myself. That story is a little bit more involved. I had, an experience with severe burnout. I had to take a leave of absence. So that was quite a journey, but I don't think we have time to get into that. But yeah, I mean, now I'm here. I'm pretty new. I started my business in May, so I'm a baby entrepreneur,
Nice
but
one.
I'm loving it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. And so tell us a bit about TikTok then. How did you get into that?
So I actually started posting on TikTok during my leave of absence when this was last August 2020. I took a leave of absence from Google, super burnt out. And in September, I started posting on TikTok because I wanted to find this creative outlet where I could just talk about whatever I wanted, share value, feel like I was making an impact because I just didn't feel that at my corporate job. But also I did see a big opportunity to grow an audience. There was so many creators were growing these massive audiences, building their authority. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with it yet, but I knew that there was something there. And I figured, let's create content, see what happens. And that just led to a series of events and opportunities that really showed me the potential here to build an entire company off of it, work for yourself. So yeah, it all started last August.
Nice one. Okay. And you've got 63,000 followers, right?
I think we're almost at 65 now. I only know that because I've been
Uh-huh.
seeing it at 64.9. I'm like, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we share a screen and have a look at your profile, just so that rather
Yeah.
than the kind of abstract, we talk about some tactics, because there are a lot of people watching this. They're going to want to do what it is that you're doing, which is to build a following and sell coaching or whatever. I suppose that works in any niche, doesn't it? You don't have to be a coach to do this. You can
No.
do it in anything. Okay.
Yeah. And the process that I've put together to share with you guys today, the 5-step process, this can really be applied to any niche, product, service, business to grow an audience.
Nice one. Okay. So just bear with me here while we figure this out. And so I'll close that down. And it's going to go into my little, let's see, here we go, online notepads, my zippy jot. And then what we'll do also is I'll go to TikTok and we'll have a look at that. So I'll share my screen with you just in just 1 minute, Stephanie.
Yeah. I'm loving your background. I know it's a fake background, but I love it. I just love like the whole style, the colors.
Sorry. Every time
Yeah.
TikTok, I get this like crazy music. Hang on. Sorry, Stephanie, just bear with me here. You can probably hear all this nonsense. Just I'm going to look.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
What I should probably do is just mute. Here we go. Nice one. And let me just share my screen with you now.
Yeah.
I think we're good to go.
I've never actually done this with someone. Look at my TikTok and like review it, but hey, first time for everything.
Don't worry, it'll be fine. So here we go. Share screen. Okay, can you see these two girls dancing there with their rabbit sort of ears? Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So what is your account then?
Steph, STEF .Pinsley, PIN or no F. Everyone does that. Pinsley. PIN. Oh, sorry. Pinsley.
Okay, hang on. Oh, sorry. Of course, yeah, of course. Pinsley.
There we go.
Yeah, nice one.
What is that? Oh, that's
The,
so
the,
funny.
the first
Never.
step for me is what's really interesting is the fact that you, as soon as I coach, so that's
Mhm.
possibly one of the most important things is the fact that you really branded yourself well, haven't you? Because
Yeah.
sorry, let me just turn that off. Right, okay, good. So yeah, so you've got close to 64.9 thousand followers, which is absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
And you've only been doing this for a short while, right? So you've really had a good trajectory with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more then. How did you do it?
So I first started out by figuring out what the niche I wanted to show up as, what or who I wanted to serve online. I think the issue with new creators on TikTok is they will kind of try out a bunch of different things. They will experiment in a few different niches, and the issue with that is that actually will confuse the algorithm a bit, and it will have a hard time serving your content. So first it was for me finding my niche and sticking to it. What was my niche? I also like to think of a niche as who you help and how you help them, what problems you solve for this group of people. So I figured out I wanted to serve the small business community, and I wanted to help them build their brand identity. So I tried to match my passions, my skills, my expertise with some topics that were relevant to my ideal clients. And I actually have put together a free guide to find your niche. It's a free course that mini course that you can click in that link in bio, not now, but if anyone is interested in building finding their niche, I think it's a really helpful resource. But I figured out what my niche was. I decided what the content pillars I wanted to focus on were. Oh, you don't have to open it. It's okay. It's okay.
Fair enough. Okay.
So yeah, that's the number one thing, figuring out who you help and how you help them. Based on that, you can then start to put together your main content pillars, right? So what are the key themes, the big buckets that you want to show up as an expert in, that again, your ideal client values? So I decided that was marketing, branding, mindset, and success principles, how to be successful as an entrepreneur. So in order for me to create content that really resonated with my ideal clients and kind of cut through the noise, because there are so many creators on TikTok, so many videos, and as the platform grows, this only becomes more and more competitive over time. So I spent a lot of time, this is like the second step in the process, researching my niche and my ideal client. So you really want to get to know your ideal client better than you know your best friend in a way. So figure out, what are their pain points? What are their challenges, their struggles? How are they feeling right now? What are their biggest obstacles? And then what are their pleasure points? What are their goals, their dreams, their ideal outcomes? Again, how do they really want to feel? And also, what are the questions that they have that are related to your niche? So those are the three big buckets that I like to think about first when you're looking at researching your niche. So problems, pleasure points, and questions. And then I spent a lot of time researching. So there's so many different ways that you can research your niche and your ideal clients. One way that I really loved is going on Reddit. Find the Reddit forums, those subreddits where your ideal client is hanging out, and see what are their discussions about your niche, right? So it's obviously not going to have you have to kind of get a little bit specific, find those forums or Facebook groups, private Facebook groups, where ideal clients are talking about the problem that you solve. So really looking through these forums, these groups, and seeing what are these common pain points, what are these common pleasure points, what are the questions that they have, what do people need, what do they desire, starting to build and use that to start to build a master research document. I like to create two documents. One is a master research document. The other one is a master content ideas document. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start researching. You're going to find all of these really rich insights about your ideal client, about your niche. And you're going to then, as you go, likely come up with content ideas. So I like to simultaneously kind of plug in content ideas into this one master document that I can go back to. But you don't have to only research on Reddit or Facebook. There's a lot of other ways, a lot of creative ways to research. One way is to find the books that your ideal client is reading or the podcast they're listening to that are related to your niche. So for example, one of the books that I looked up was One Page Marketing Plan. This is a book that a lot of people in my niche read. So what are those reviews on Amazon for these books? What are the podcast reviews for these podcasts that they're listening to? When you look at this, you can see, okay, what is this? What does my ideal client like about this content, this book, this podcast? What do they not like? What do they think is missing? What are the anecdotes that they're sharing? These are really great insights that you can then apply again to your market research doc, the pains, the pleasures, the questions, the needs. Another way I love to research is going on Pinterest, believe it or not. Pinterest is just an amazing tool. It's a visual search engine, but if you can find either boards about your niche, or if you can find an ideal client on Pinterest, find someone on Pinterest who falls into the avatar that you've created for your ideal client and look at their boards. See if they have any boards that are related to your niche. So I found someone in my niche and she had a small business marketing board. So I looked and I saw, what is she pinning? What does she find the most interesting? What are those pins that are getting the most, likes, shares, etc.? Take note of that. That's another great way to research. Of course, if you have an audience already, you could ask your audience, you could poll them on your Instagram stories with the question feature, you could go live, you could ask your email list. But if you don't have an audience, again, there's so many other ways to research. You can also just go on YouTube and find the YouTube videos that are about or that are related to your niche, again, that your ideal clients watching, and see the comments. What are the most highly voted comments? What are people saying about this video? Again, you're trying to pull out the pain points, the pleasure points, the goals, the dreams, the ideal outcomes, the needs, the questions. And see, what are the most liked comments? What are those shared experiences that a lot of people have? Are there certain anecdotes that are really sticking out? Take note of all this, and this is really going to help you build this master research document. And then once you have that, we can then move into creating content. But I just poured a lot out there, so I'll take a breath so you can react to it.
That's okay. So I guess kind of in our niche, which is the make money online, so generally we're looking at people who have no following, they have no traffic. Some of them just want to make money to kind of meet their kind of monthly outgoings, but some of them are more ambitious, like they want to build small businesses. But generally, I think traffic within the people watching this would most likely be wanting to generate traffic, which is why these platforms such as TikTok is so attractive. And okay, good. So, and I guess you have the kind of large 4 evergreen niches as well, which is money, relationships, health, and there's one more which I can't remember what it is, but you get these kind of universal ones, right? Which
yes, however, I wouldn't call those a niche because they're so broad. The niche is a bit more specific, but once you do, because I know you had mentioned that we want to grow traffic, drive traffic, and that's why we do all of this research, that we can then apply it to the next step, which is actually creating content that is based on these insights that are directly addressing your ideal clients' pain points, their pleasure points, their questions. You want to create content that almost gets them to stop scrolling in their tracks and say, are they in my head? Like, how did they know that this is exactly what I needed? So wherever you are, figure out what platforms your ideal clients spend the most time on. Maybe it's TikTok, maybe it's Instagram, and start to then create content that is based on these insights, right? We just spent all this time getting to know our ideal client better than our best friend. Now we can take these insights and say, okay, let me create these bite-sized pieces of content. I am a big fan of short form video content because there is so much opportunity across all of the platforms. The algorithms are favoring short form video content, but also it's really easy to repurpose it. You can take one TikTok video, download it without the watermark using a tool called snaptik.app. You can take that video, post it as a Pinterest idea pin. You could post it as a YouTube short. You could post it as an Instagram reel. You can really take this and stretch that one piece of content across all these different channels to get more traffic, whether that be to your website or just to your social media page, get more followers. Repurposing content, I think, is one thing that is a great task to delegate to someone maybe on Fiverr or Upwork, finding those freelance platforms that you can get someone to just repurpose your content for you, so you're not spending that time doing it. But that's not to say you have to create short form video content. Not everyone is comfortable in front of the camera, and equally as important as creating this content that's aligned with your ideal client is creating content that you like, right? If you're not someone that likes to be on video, you're going to so quickly burn out if you're trying to create videos all the time. If you're trying to, put yourself in a position that is really unnatural to you. That's not to say don't stretch yourself outside your comfort zone. But I think if you really want to be consistent with content creation, which is the next step, right? Show up consistently as an expert or thought leader. You need to create content that you enjoy creating, or else you're not going to do it in the long term.
Nice one. Okay. So let's talk about content, because I think the majority, I'm going to be kind of very direct and slightly blunt about this, because let's talk about the perceptions of some of these social platforms and specifically TikTok. So there's a perception that it's very much geared towards a younger audience, and a lot of them aren't going to have a lot of money to actually buy coaching. So for example, if we're looking at maybe I don't know, say $100 to $500 coaching, we think, who's going to be hanging? Because I've got two daughters that are teenagers, and they spend time on TikTok. Now they wouldn't have the money or the inclination to actually go out and spend money. I can hear them, they're kind of imitating some of the dance moves and the songs, which are funny and very, very very fetching. But in terms of business, I just have the feeling that it might not be the ideal demographic. So is that really the case, or am I completely wrong with this?
No, this is a really common misconception. So I don't blame you for thinking that. And especially if you have younger kids, it's easy to get that perception when you hear the TikToks in the bedrooms and you see the dance videos. I completely understand that. But TikTok has actually evolved to become much bigger than that. I actually found some research recently about the audience split, and there's like a huge chunk of people are over 20, 25, 30, 40. Really, there are a lot of people on this platform that are well over the age of kids, teenagers, even young adults. And this is why so many niches are thriving on there. This is why real estate coaches are growing huge audiences, and finance guys and broker. Every kind of niche is doing well on there, because it's not just kids, but it is something that a lot of people believe, and that actually is what keeps them from taking advantage of the platform. But TikTok is one of the best platforms that you can be right now. Gary Vee always says, find those places where the attention is underpriced. Where can you get more views for less less content? Where can you get the most organic growth and engagement? And right now that's TikTok, hands down.
Nice one. Okay, good. So in terms of content, we can either look at your profile, or we can just do a search on sort of anything in that niche. But I think what people really struggle is actually creating content, sort of coming up with content ideas, being on camera, because generally you see the people who get to the top, and again I'm going to be pretty direct about this, is they are pretty photogenic. You do get photogenic people who go to, they kind of rise to the cream. Now it's a bit different with TikTok than it is with YouTube, for example, because YouTube is longer form, so you do get kind of you get kind of different age groups, you get different nationalities, whatever. But TikTok does seem to be quite photogenic. So do you think that's really the case, or am I completely wrong with this?
Look, I think that's true for anything in this world on social. If that's just the sad truth, which is sometimes if you're more good looking, you have these privileges, you get more views, but that to me is really only a small piece of it. I think that's 1/10 of it. I think 9/10 is the value that you're creating, and the format. Are you hooking your audience in the first 3 seconds? That's the most important part. You have So many people are sitting there on their phone in bed, scrolling. How do you create content that is thumb stopping? How do you get them to stop scrolling and watch your video? Create a hook, figure out what is that one line opener that's going to get people interested. Maybe you're asking a question, maybe you're saying you. When you say you, it's one of the most powerful words in copywriting because it gets people's attention fired up. They say, oh, they're talking to me. Maybe you are saying something polarizing, maybe you're saying something surprising, but hook your audience. First 3 seconds, hook your audience, and then go straight into the value, the meat of it. What is the 3 tips you offer? What is the lesson you're teaching? And with TikTok, it's hard because you have to really move quickly. The creators that tend to not, I've seen this with a lot of new online service providers, they don't make their content short and snappy enough. That's not to say that you can create 3-minute long videos on there. You can create 1-minute long videos, but it needs to move. The pace has to be a little bit quicker than we're used to on other platforms like YouTube as an example. So get into the value, kind of have a relatively quick pace. I think it's helpful to also have obviously closed captioning so that you are, being more accessible. However, this is also great just to appeal to those people who are watching with sound off, which is true for some people. But use like the GIFs, the emojis, not the emojis. Use like the stickers, the GIFs. Use visual things that'll pop up and kind of keep people's eyes engaged. Maybe move the text over here to over here in the one frame, and just keep the content as visually engaging and mentally engaging. What is the value as possible, and then finally wrap it up with a single call to action. Maybe you're saying, share this with yourself so you can take these tips later, or send this to a small business owner friend, or leave me a comment. What is that one call to action that you end it with? When we try to add so many calls to actions, follow, like, share, people end up doing nothing, right? So you have to end with one single call to action. So that's typically the framework of a successful video. But to your point, I mean, look, it's true. When you're more attractive, the algorithm, it favors you. But if you don't look at yourself as someone who's conventionally attractive, that's okay. Plenty of non-conventionally attractive people succeed on there. So I think it's, just create content. This is why we do so much research. Create content that your ideal clients will value, and that's what's going to help you succeed, not your looks.
That's a really good comment. And actually, this is something that people don't talk about. So that's why it's good to actually raise it, because a lot of the people watching this, in fact, I think, kind of more than 90%, they are going to be middle-aged, usually males, and they just find it a little bit more difficult to really shine in this environment. I mean, it's we might as well just say it. So, but I hear what you're saying. I think that should not be an excuse, because you do see, if you're determined to succeed, you're going to see that as just another thing that you need to overcome. There's a whole bunch of other things, like you need to be coming up with content and whatever. So if you're determined to succeed, you just need to cross that barrier and make sure that you hit your goals. So that's that's exactly what I'd say to that.
Yeah. And I mean, look, when anyone first starts posting on any platform, starts building a brand, creating content, it's uncomfortable. If you go look at my old TikToks from, the way beginning, like, I'm not making eye contact, it's awkward. You can see how uncomfortable I am. The more you push through that, the better your content's going to get. And the more content that you create, then you're able to look at your content and see, okay, what is working? And how can I double down on that? What is the either style of video? What is the what is the value that I'm offering here? What's the idea? And so I like to, every month or so, look at my top 3 videos, whether that's based on engagement or awareness, depending on what your goal is, and really analyze these videos and make some hypotheses about why you think this video did so well. Is it the style of video? Is it the content? Is it, whatever it is it, maybe you're doing a 2 POV style you've never done before. Look at these different high performing videos for both yourself and your competitors and say, make some assumptions and kind of create these action statements based on these assumptions. So I, for example, figured out, I saw one of my videos that did really well was this font video where I had myself talking to myself, 2 different POVs. I've never done that before, but that one did really well. And so I made this action statement for myself to then guide my future content efforts, which was, create more 2 POV style videos to deliver what would otherwise be pretty dry educational content. So yeah, look at what's working and double down on that, but don't allow the fear of, not looking good or feeling uncomfortable stop you, because you'll get over that relatively quickly. And we all face that.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what else then? So we've really got into the heads of our neat potential followers, the people who hang out in our niche, and we've managed to gradually create good content, which is going to be pretty short and pretty punchy. What do we need to do after that?
Yeah, so obviously, like I said, you want to measure, iterate, double down on what's working. So don't forget the content measurement piece. That's one of the most important parts. And this is something I really emphasize in my program, and I have my clients do this analysis, because if you don't know what's working, you're not going to be able to replicate that. Sometimes it's a single style of video, or it's a single hook that does really well. And you'll see this with some creators. They will really they'll create so many videos following using the same audio, doing kind of the same format, because it's working for them. So you need to figure out what's working, double down on that. But also, I think it's really helpful to start to engage with other people in your niche or other people in your ideal clients. Start to build that community, build genuine relationships. And this is really going to help you, especially when you start to build relationships with other people in your niche. This is a great way for you both people to kind of cross-pollinate audiences, whether that be on TikTok or Instagram or anywhere else. When you can start to collaborate with other people in your niche, maybe you're shouting them out in a video, or maybe you're duetting one of their videos. Once you start to do that, you're going to start to cross-pollinate audiences and reach more audiences. So invest in building these relationships with other thought leaders in your niche. Look at them as collaborators. They don't need to be competition. That's the mindset shift that I think a lot of creators need to make, because they feel so competitive. They look at someone else in their niche and they say, damn, how are their videos doing so well? What am I doing wrong? Why can't I get those views? You need to shift out of that sort of scarcity mindset and move into this more abundance mindset of looking at these people in your niche not as competitors but as collaborators, and see how can we work together. How can I add value to them and vice versa? That's going to help quite a bit. But the other thing I would say, the final thing, is repurpose your content across channels. Don't allow one, because the thing is, you could create one great TikTok video. You'll get, some mileage out of it, maybe a lot, depending on how viral it goes. Anything can go viral on that platform. It's honestly really random at times. But repurpose, see if you can use that as a Pinterest idea pin, like I said, or a YouTube short or reel. That's going to give you so much more mileage for this one piece of content. And that's going to help you, grow your get people to know you and on more platforms, and, get more traffic to your sites, your social channels, etc.
Nice one. All right. And if anyone wants to, Stefanie, I mean, this has been absolutely fascinating, and I'm really amazed by how successful you've been there. So well done on this. And if anyone wants to find out more about your services, how do they do that?
Yeah, so you can just follow me on Instagram or TikTok, steph.pinsley. The link in my bio will take you to the application where you can sign up or learn more about Roadmap to Rise, which is my marketing and branding group coaching program for new or aspiring online service providers, where I help you build your personal brand. So click that link in my bio and you will be able to see that option. I'm also going to be launching one-on-one coaching soon. Again, you'll find that in my bio, but the best place is always follow me on those channels, click those links, or just feel free to DM me. I'm more than happy to answer questions, chat, etc. So yeah.
Nice one. Okay, good. So I'm going to just copy that into here. It's a bit long, but awesome. If anyone wants to
Oh, actually, that just reminded me. I actually just started a new private Facebook group in that link that you just copied called the Entrepreneur Hub. I'm sharing a lot of free value in this all the time, going live a lot, free resources, etc. So that's another way that you can kind of work with me for free.
Nice one. Okay, so this is called the Entrepreneur Hub, and I'll just put that link in here as well.
Yeah, I started it this week. Very new, very new.
Nice one. Okay,
Oh,
good.
thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome, Stefanie. Thank you for your time. You've been really generous with us, and yeah, keep
Thank
in touch.
you.
Have a great day.
All right, you as well. Bye, Dan.